YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to discuss top 15 SQL interview questions and answers which asked very frequently in the interview. So in this video, I am going to explain 7 questions and I will explain next 8 questions in the next video. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first question is, what is the order of execution of SQL query? This is the most important question and every time interview asks in the interview, like what is the order of execution of SQL query? So order of execution is like this, first execute from, then where, group by, having, select and order by. Limit function, this function basically we use in MySQL. It's not used in the SQL Server. In SQL Server, we use top or max for max instead of this limit function. So this is the order of execution of SQL query. And the next question is, what is primary key? So primary key, basically it's a primary key is a column or a group of column in a table that uniquely identifies the rows of data in that table. So basically primary key uniquely identify all the data in the all the rows of data in the table. And primary key, simply you can learn like primary key is a unique plus not null. Primary key is that which define unique rows of data, and rows could not be null. So just simply learn primary key is a unique plus not null. And the third question is difference between where and having clause in SQL. So basically where clause we use to filter data at row level, and having clause used to filter data at group level. So basically when having clause use with aggregate functions like min, max, average, sum. For these type of function we use having clause, and having clause we use with group by function as well. So like it's mandatory to use group by when we use having, otherwise having will not work. So this is the one thing which need to keep in mind, like when we use having, there must be group by in the query. So this is the difference between where and having clause. And now you must be thinking like, can we use where and having clause together in a query? So the answer is yes, we can use where and having clause together in a query. So that was about third question. And the fourth question is, what are the DDL and DML commands in SQL? So first I'm going to explain what is DDL. DDL is a data definition language, basically which is used to define the database schema. The query by using we can define the database that comes in the DDL command. So in DDL command we have create, drop, truncate, alter, rename. These command comes in the DDL. Basically when we use these commands, it's gonna define the database and DML is a data manipulation language which used to manipulate the database. So in this, insert, update and delete command comes. And now the syntax of this, like when we use any commands like create table, table name, drop table, table name, truncate table, table name. But in DML command what happens, we do not, like in DDL command we use table objects when we write the query, but in DML commands we do not use this table command, we do not use this table object. Like we simply use insert into table name, and if I want to update, then I will write update and table name. If I and for delete table name. So in DML command we do not use table object, but in DDL command we use table objects. So this thing like when we write the query, most of the time we got confused, like we should write table object or not. So just keep in mind, like in DDL command we use table object, but in DML command we do not use this table object. We simply write the query in this way. And now the one thing like truncate. So basically in in truncate, what it does, it delete all the rows from the table. Now you must be thinking like, if it just delete all the rows from the table, so it should come in the DML command. Why it's in the DDL? Because in DDL commands, those comes which define the database. So basically, truncate what does, with the deletion of all the rows, what it does, it deallocate the space which is allocated to the rows, and in this way it's defining this space for the database. That's why it comes in the DDL command. So these are the two main point which need to focus, like why truncate comes in the DDL command, uh, and second, like in DDL command we use table object when we write the query. And fifth question is, what are joins in SQL? So basically joins is the most important thing in the SQL, and when we write the SQL query, it's frequently used joins. So like we have four type of joins: inner join, left join, right join, full join. In inner join, what inner join does? Inner join, it takes only common value from the tables, like whatever value matches, it takes only those value from the tables. And left join, basically what it does, it return all the records from the left table and matching records from the right table. And same thing in right join, it returns all the records from the right table and only return matching records from the left table. And full join, it return all the record when there is a match in left table or right table records, it return all the records. So this is about the joins in SQL. So, and if you want to know more about this joins, so I have created a separate video on joins, so do watch that video also. And sixth question is, what are the difference between delete, drop and truncate? So delete is basically, it's used to delete a row in a table. Truncate is used to delete all the rows from the tables, and drop, it remove table or database. It remove table or database. Delete, it you can, in delete we can roll back the data after using delete commands, but in truncate we cannot roll back, and in drop also we cannot roll back. Delete, it comes, it's a DML command, data manipulation language. Truncate and drop both comes in the DDL command. So this is the difference between delete, truncate and drop. Now the last question is, what are constants? So constant basically used to specify the limit on the data type of the table. So we have these constant, like first is not null. Not null, so basically constant when we put any restriction on the table, in that case we use constant. So for example, we want a column and it should not contain null value. So for this we will mention, while creating table we will mention not null. So basically what does not null? It ensure that column cannot have null value. And check, basically it's ensure that value in a column satisfies specific conditions. So for check we use, for example, I want to fill a form, and in this form I have a column phone number, so it's mandatory to use 10 digit in phone number. So for that column I want to put some restriction, like if user fill that phone number, then uh, digit should come in the 10 digit. So for this I will use check. And we can use in age also. If I want to put some restriction for the age, like this form should be filled whose age is greater than 18. So in that case I can put some restriction by using this check. And default, it's a set default, basically what it does, it set a default value in a column if no value is defined. It's set a default value. Unique, it ensure that all values in columns are different. It ensure basically like all values in a column is unique. there should be no any duplicacy. And primary key is a, it ensure that all the data in the column, all the data in the column should be unique and not null. So this is the difference between unique and primary key. Like in unique, it ensures that all values should be unique, but it can have null value. But in primary key, all values should be unique and it cannot contain null value. So that's what all about this video, and I'm gonna explain next 8 question in the next video. So do let me know in the comment section how did you like this video, and if you have any suggestion to me, then I'm happy to receive them. And thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. Bye bye.